And welcome back to EV Motoring. I'm Joe, and today I'm out here in San Diego at the Fully Charged Live event. It's electric car, like one of the biggest electric car shows in the world. It travels around, so for next year, for example, it's going to be in Australia. All right, so my plan is just to literally take you around the show and see it for the very first time with me. So over here, there's a lot of customization stuff. So here's like a sick lowered Tesla Model 3. And next to that, a Model S. Pretty cool stuff here. And then Electrify America's booth is here, doing a full interview with them in a couple hours. So going to be interesting to hear their thoughts on the future of the network and what they're doing to improve reliability. This here is that new, I believe, is the new BTC charger that I used in Baker, California. That actually was a little bit finicky. So hopefully they're working to improve reliability and have a better charging experience in the future. Next to them is actually Wallbox. And you might have seen Wallbox on our comprehensive review video of, in my opinion, the best at-home charger. I just liked all of the customization. Oh, there's Kyle from Out of Spec is here too. But the Wallbox is what I use for charging solutions at my house. I think it's just really good with all the detail that it provides for the vehicle, allowing you to get a little bit more nerdy about all the facts about your EV. Next, past the home chargers, there's actually one more home charging solution over here, is Webasto. I've actually looked into them before. I think that they're a pretty good budget-friendly solution for an EV charger. But they have a little booth set up right here to show some of their Wallbox. We'll go over there and take a quick peek at it. Pretty busy here on day one. The show just opened up about a half hour ago. And I had that Electromechanica drive, so I couldn't be here for the early press access. But maybe tomorrow I'll be here a little earlier, get a little more exclusive content with some of these vehicles. Here they're showing off the water resistance of the new Webasto unit. Looks very similar to the charger that comes with the Mach-E, or Ford products in general, I should say. Now over here, there's some more EV conversions. So that looks like an electrified Porsche. And over here, check out this Hot Wheels kind of dune buggy looking vehicle. Pretty cool stuff. That's always been one of my dreams, is I want to electrify like an old classic car, like an old Chevy or Ford, like a Chevelle or something like that. I just think it's so crazy to leave a stoplight and just have the electric motors roaring when people are expecting to hear a regular motor. So over here, just around the corner, is one of the vehicles that everyone is most excited for. It is the Aptera. So Aptera is most likely going to be one of the hottest three-wheel vehicles coming, because it's coming at a very aggressive price point, being around $25,000. And let's see if we can try to get a little bit closer view to it.
We're going to come back when it's less crowded.
Certainly you'll get more content with this later today, or tomorrow morning I'll be able to do a more proper walk around of it. But this is my first time seeing it in person. I actually used to be a reservation holder of the Aptera, so pretty cool to see the end product, possibly pretty close to finally being in production. A lot of companies here helping people with their EV solutions, such as which is the best EV for someone's lifestyle, how people should charge it, so what's the best charging solution to use at home. All that sort of stuff is growing pains. That it's one thing to just go out and buy an electric car. It's a whole other thing to actually have to live with it day to day and understand the differences that it does to your life. Here's a Taycan with a roof box. Hopefully the audio is coming through pretty well. There's lots of background noise around here. Rivet, an electric motorcycle company that's coming to market. Lightning. Definitely highly customized Model S right there. Looks like they're doing a demo with one of their Volcan's demoing one of their electric bikes right now. It's kind of more like a fat tire, like cross of an electric bike with a dirt bike, but with a fat tire. Kind of cool. And actually, really aggressive price point. 75 miles of range for only $8,000. They're certainly a fun toy to have in the garage. Here's the Scorpion EV. This is like a 427 Shelby kind of kit car. However, it is 100% electric. So certainly kind of crosses over between where I said I want to customize an old car or getting a kind of a kit car like this would be pretty cool. It uses the Tesla Model S Performance drivetrain as well as a 90 kilowatt hour battery, which I just realized their sign is wrong because it said 90 kilowatts, not 90 kilowatt hours. Oh boy. This is the Canoe. Also see it has a square steering wheel because for some reason all electric vehicles cannot have a normal round steering wheel. Tesla's pioneered that trend with the yoke, and now a lot of people are copycatting. So for example, the BMW iX has a similar square steering wheel. That one's a little more rigid square, whereas the BMW's iX is rounded. But yeah, I wish vehicles would just get back to a traditional round steering wheel. It was never broken to begin with, so no reason to try to reinvent the wheel, quite literally. Here's a Tesla Model Y dual motor. Like I said, a lot of these people are here with showing other solutions that they use their vehicles for. So it's not just to highlight the Tesla Model Y. This is highlighting, perhaps it's something to do with this trailer, either there's solar on the roof or something along that lines. Here's Livewire, which I finally just got the opportunity to ride a couple weeks ago. Full review coming on that very shortly. It was just what an outstanding vehicle. I have not gotten to ride the Zero yet. Obviously, I have to properly compare how the Livewire is. But first impressions, the Livewire was the fastest thing I've ever driven, quite frankly, for lack of a better word, just insane. And now that their price point came down, now that they rebranded and they don't use the Harley name anymore, I'm not sure. The Harley tax must have been about $9,000 on this vehicle because it was $30,000, and now it's $21,000. So great to see the price coming down, as well as they have a shorter range bike coming up in the next couple months, I believe. They'll finally start shipping those. I think it's called actually, I don't know what it's called. I think it's something 2, is the K2 or something like that. I'll have to look it up. Here's another concept vehicle over here. This is the Indy EV. A lot of concepts here. That's what I'm gathering on first impressions, is a lot of concepts.
Okay, so those are the questions. Those have the same question.
Of course, with all these concepts, the more important question is, when will it actually be available for purchase to put in your driveway? It needs to be mass produced to get the cost down. Otherwise, the company won't survive, as a lot of these new companies, such as like Canoe or Nikola, or all of them have found out it's really easy to design a concept vehicle. Anyone can design an electric concept vehicle, but getting it into production is really just the incredibly difficult part. So now that we've walked around kind of the displays for the solutions you can use to charge at home or help you decide what EV to get, now it's time to go down to Electric Avenue, which is where we can see all the EVs that are here today. So a bunch of options here for people to look at, get in, and that's really, in my opinion, the most important part of shows like this. The concepts are great, and it's great to show what can be coming, but this is what actually gets people's butts in seats to see how nice the interior is of a lot of these cars. People just a lot of times have that preconceived notion that an electric car must be cheap for some reason. I don't know why, but something I've commonly come across, or it must be super expensive if it is nice. Here you can kind of see that even a vehicle like the Leaf that's just been around forever just continues to be a really good commuting vehicle, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. It is eventually going away, but it's great to see the full line of vehicles here between Teslas and Leafs. So a couple Model X's in here. Here is the GV60, which I think I saw at the Chicago Auto Show, but I have certainly never sat in. So I'll have to sit in that, check out how that differs from the Ioniq 5. As you might know, I was very interested in getting an Ioniq 5 before I made my most recent vehicle purchase. So the GV60 is certainly looks like another great option, especially if you want more of that premium experience. Over here is the Mach-E. This looks like the California Route 1 because I believe it has the range wheels. We've done a bunch of videos with the Mach-E. I actually have some canyon blasting to put up in both the GT and GT Performance and kind of try to compare what the difference from the GT to the GT Performance package actually gets you for that $5,000. So I'll definitely try to get those videos up soon. Just been so overwhelmed with real life work and everything going on, but trying to get more back to a more regular unveiling of videos. Here's the Jaguar I-Pace. Believe it or not, that's actually one of the first, I believe this is the first electric SUV. The Tesla Model X came a couple years after, or a year after, something like that. This actually been around quite a long time. Here's VinFast. I actually looked at possibly putting a reservation down on one of these. These are Vietnamese-built electric vehicles that really, everything I've looked at so far, I haven't gotten to sit in one, haven't gotten to drive one, but so it looks like my last video briefly cut out, but I'll just recap a little bit. I was interested in purchasing a VinFast, actually possibly putting a reservation down on them because I think they actually have potential to be a pretty good competitive car. And also interested in how their battery situation is going to work. That they're doing like some sort of a battery leasing, or the battery doesn't come with the car effectively, so it's like kind of a separate purchase process. So that'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But I do think they have yet another good option that could be coming to market pretty soon. Hopefully they can get their factory up and running and pump these vehicles out and get them shipped over. As I mentioned, they're being purchased or being manufactured in Vietnam. Over here is Archimoto. I drove these out in California about a year ago, actually, almost 8 months ago. It was a pretty cool experience. I think they have a little bit of growing pains to do as far as like brake calibration, things like that, but certainly a fun little around town car. And I think, I don't know that it works so much in Chicago, but down here where there's beautiful weather, a great vehicle for what it was designed for. Now I'll go through the last couple rows of the show over here. So there's Tesla Model Y, Tesla Model S and a Tesla Model 3 over here from the Electric Vehicle Association. Here's the Zero motorcycles that are pretty interesting because I just rode the Harley Livewire. So this is definitely the SR that I need to get a chance to ride pretty soon. It'll be interesting to see how this compares to the Livewire. I know on the price point it certainly is a much more affordable unit, so Zero certainly got that going for them. But we'll have to see how it compares. Here's the charge port, kind of an interesting that there's two J1772 plugs in there. I think that allows you can plug in two chargers at the same time to boost the speed if you're on a 120 outlet. Here's the Energica. This is a much more expensive than the Livewire. This is certainly a high-performance electric motorcycle. I don't know in the foreseeable future if I'll have a chance to ride this, but certainly would be cool to at some point. Now here's Tesla in iridescent paint. Kind of reminds me of the old Mr. Chrome color that the SVT Cobra used to come in. I used to have an 04 SVT Cobra convertible. Love that car. Miss it dearly. But here's kind of very similar, where it kind of has that purple but blue shade of metallic paint. A couple more Teslas. These are from the Tesla SoCal Club. Now we're on to the Hyundai Ioniq 5. This one's bittersweet for me to see because I spent so much time trying to find one of these at MSRP. Unfortunately, was unable to. So this is not the car that I ended up purchasing. But I do think this is one of the best electric vehicles out right now, especially because the charging. If you're not going to road trip your vehicle, it's completely irrelevant. But if you are going to road trip your vehicle, you will literally save about 10 minutes on each charging stop with this vehicle. And along with that is the GV60. Has the same insane charging curve, except boosted up performance and a more premium interior. And then the Kia EV6, which I'll show in a little bit, also rides on the same platform. So they're all very similar vehicle, 3 different styling profiles and interior qualities for you to choose what's the best for you. Here's those Teslas that I showed earlier. Then over here we have a BMW i3. The i3 is unique. The reason the price point was so high on these is because of the carbon fiber tub that the vehicle is built on. So rather than having a typical like steel chassis, this is much more like a supercar kind of style design from the carbon fiber manufacturing. Here's one of the original Tesla Roadsters. Everybody's still waiting on the new Tesla Roadster, but here's the one that kind of started all. This is based off of the Lotus chassis. This is one of the most important cars really ever made because Tesla used the profits off this vehicle to develop the Model S, which then those profits developed the Model X, and those profits developed the Model 3, and that's what got electric vehicles to the masses for a better price point. Really important car in the kind of the transition to electric vehicles that we are in today. Next to that is a Rivian R1T, one of my personal favorite vehicles. I very strongly feel that this might be my next car after the car I just bought. Reason being, I think it's just an outstanding vehicle. Outstanding, not just truck, outstanding vehicle in general. I used to like the Ford Lightning until I got in this, and that kind of really changed me. I know it's a different size vehicle, but I have a full walk-around video that I'll be doing soon with the Rivian R1T. Over here is a Fiat 500e. I do not think they make these anymore. I think Fiat kind of killed those off. Another BMW i3 over here. You see the interesting, quirky door opening to help get in and out of the back seats. Here is the Polestar 2. This is actually one of my favorite vehicles. I think it's also one of the best looking vehicles made. And most importantly for me, the purchase process is all done online. So they kind of partnered with Volvo dealers since Volvo's connected to the Polestar brand. And you literally buy the car online. So in my case in Chicago, closest options I could buy from are Denver, Detroit, or Minneapolis. And you buy the car at sticker. There's no games of a dealer getting a car and marking it up. So this is a launch edition with the dual motor. Is not a single motor because it's 2021. 2022 is the first year for single motors on the Polestar 2. We'll have plenty more content coming with Polestar 2 in the future. And over here is a couple EV6s, and that'll pretty much wrap it up. So this is an EV6 rear-wheel drive, so it gets the range spec rims, which I'll try to highlight a little bit over here. And then right next to it, there we go, there's the range spec rims. And then right over here is the dual motor, which has a little bit different rim style on it. Kind of has a similar paint style to the Ioniq 5 Shooting Star, where it's like this matte paint. But pretty cool. So now I also wanted to highlight some of the outdoor activities of the show. Right over here is Electromechanica. That's where I just got to drive the Electromechanica Solo. Up ahead of that is the Livewire motorcycle by Harley Davidson. Down here there is Archimoto, which is giving you can drive the 3-wheel fun utility vehicle. Looking forward to doing that shortly. And then a little bit down further, there's a bunch of Tesla ride and drives. So pretty cool to put people, butts in seats is usually the best way to sell these electric vehicles. Once someone drives one, you really don't understand how great they are until you feel that instant acceleration. So that's a wrap for the Fully Charged Live walk-around. I'll be doing more content with a lot of these vehicles as the weekend goes on. But please do comment down below on what you think the coolest vehicle here is, and also comment down below on what you think the coolest vehicle missing from here is, since there's obviously some big players missing. There's no Hummer, there's no Chevy Bolt, which is actually a very important vehicle being at its price point. And until then, take care till next time.